Alright, guys, important one here today, and I'm not necessarily here to even give you action steps. The main point of this, well, I do go into action steps later on, but the main point of this video is to shift perspective, shift beliefs, so that whenever you come to generating leads, as you can see here, you have the right approach, you can use the right bait to attract the right fish, and actually put in the right steps that will generate the business that you're looking to generate and ultimately allow you to grow as a result. So there's a couple of things I want to discuss. I'm just going to jump straight into it. And you can see here, something everyone doing lead generation needs to know. I'm just going to start out with some context. And that is that you cannot simply buy leads, referrals, contacts, or phone numbers and just expect overnight this will save your business or increase sales. Think about what all these are: leads, referrals, contacts, phone numbers. What actually is a lead? For those who have read $100 million leads, and I strongly recommend that anybody looking to generate more leads or customers reads that $100 million leads by Alex Hormozi. I'll link it in the description. Not affiliated with them, of course, but I'd strongly recommend it. A lead is just someone that you can contact, and just because you can contact someone doesn't mean they're going to run at you with their card out, let me buy your stuff, let me give you money. It's not going to happen. It's not the case. So it's not going to save your business overnight or increase your sales yet. I'll show you later on the advantage this can actually have. But think it through rationally yourself. These are real people with real lives, and you think they're just going to hand over their money to you because what? I don't know. Is it entitlement? Is it ego? I don't know. I'm not going to accuse you of anything, but you can think that through yourself on some self-reflection. But just put yourself in their shoes. You're a real person, exactly the same as these customers, these leads. We're all born equal, and you're not just going to fork out money to someone because you ended up on a lead list or maybe raise your hand for some more information at a previous point in history. Large investments, I'm assuming we're speaking large investments, the majority of my viewers will be mortgage brokers, although this can apply to any other industry, but specifically speaking to mortgage brokers. Large investments often take time to weigh up the pros and cons, and they aren't simply made on a whim or overnight. You're talking about people purchasing a house, people moving house, people remortgaging, whatever it may be. These are big decisions. They're going to take time. You're not just going to do something like that overnight. Ultimately, though, this doesn't mean that lead generation or seeking more leads is a waste of time, but you need to have the right approach if you want to increase your sales. So you can't just go into this, buy loads of leads and be like, oh yes, I bought leads, I've invested money. Yes, just because I did that, I'm going to see a return. You need to have the right approach to actually make the most of those leads. I'm trying to think of a good analogy that we can do here. It's kind of like buying a table from IKEA and being like, yes, I've sorted the table out, but then not assembling it and being like, this table sucks. You have to actually go and assemble it, take the next steps to turn that into something you're interested in, which is a functioning table, or in other words, actual paying clients. So if you're willing to put in the work to get what you want, which is obviously more sales, then listen in. But if you're not willing to, and you just want lay down sales delivered to your door on a silver platter, this is probably not for you. A lot of small businesses may have this approach, but ultimately there needs to be some sort of understanding of sales here and how you can take strangers into customers and turn them into customers. But a business isn't going to build itself either, so it's time to get to work. And ultimately, these types of leads don't really exist anyway. You can't. There's a very small percentage of people that are gonna just go, oh yeah, let me buy it now. I'm interested. Let's do it right now, and just hand over the money upon first contact. It exists, but it's in a very, very, very small proportion, and this is why people believe lead generation and purchasing leads, blah blah blah, are of such low quality because it's such a small percentage of the market. Anyways, so zoom in a bit. Two main ways to get more customers. So we've got two approaches here. Going to go through this one first, and that is the pull approach. The majority of small businesses operate on a pull approach. This is because it's easier and it requires less work, and also just because of the fact that they don't have the contextual knowledge that I'm about to go through here. I'm not saying, oh, look at me on my high horse. That's not the case, but I mean, it's what I do for a living, so of course I'm going to know about it. But it's easier, it requires less work, and it requires less knowledge as well. And ultimately, this is kind of what it looks like. You've got the business, or the individual, whatever it may be. If you're self-employed, cool. But if you're working as part of a firm and you have a couple of advisors underneath you, the way that the pull approach is going to work is that customers customers will get to the point where they're ready to purchase, where they're ready to go ahead, where they're ready to buy, all on their own, and then they'll go to the business. And that's all the customers that they attract. They only attract people who have made the decision that they're going to purchase, have had no nurturing, none of that. They come to the point where they're ready to buy, and then they say, "Business, sort me out." Here's the thing, that's fine. They're going to be really high quality leads, and you're going to convert these guys, but it's such a small percentage of the market. And when you're only reaching out to a small percentage of the market, or you're only interacting with a small percentage of the market, you're only going to do a small amount of business relative to that market. So you probably see where I'm going with this, and that is that the leverage is going to be in the larger part of the market, which is the guys who aren't ready to buy. But I'm going to get onto that in a second, don't worry. And yeah, the pull method, it simply means they're reactive. That's the businesses, by the way. So the business here is being reactive. They allow customers and clients to come to them and react to the state of the market, just the market. Their levels of business are purely determined by the market also, not by anything else, not by their own initiative, their work ethic, because you can be putting in the work and working hard for these guys, but if the market's not interested in your service, you're not going to generate more business, and you'll suffer as a result of that. So yeah, that is the pull method. People allow the market, the demand, the customers to come to them after they've already made the decision that they're going to buy. It is essential. I don't want to say it's a lay down sale, because of course you're still having to go off and service those guys, but there hasn't been any effort, any processes, any systems involved to get these people from being strangers to ready to purchase and paying clients. And yeah, of course, now I'm going to go through the other way to do this, and that is the push approach. Larger businesses tend to operate on a push approach. This is because it is most conducive to business growth, hence they are large in the first place. So notice that the large guys are doing these push approaches, they're taking these sales approaches, and they're a big business as a result. But ultimately, it's not a case that only big businesses do this. It's the fact that they put this in place in the first place. That is why they are big. They don't do it because they're big. They put the process in place, and then they became big. And the only reason that the smaller businesses aren't able to imitate the bigger ones is because they don't have this process in place. They still generate clients through the pull method. Here's the thing. There's going to be a certain level of natural or organic inquiries into the business, and that's fine. That's good. That's a good thing. But if you want to grow, you need to take initiative, and you need to push further to try and grow the business further. And this is what the push approach looks like. So it's a bit more complicated than the last one, but believe it or not, this is actually just exactly the same as this. I literally copy and pasted it. The only difference is that we also now have a bit more of a wider reach, and that is that we have strangers involved in the mix, strangers and the business involved. But we also have the customers, and you'll notice the arrows are going inwards to the business, so the customers are going to, there's a black line there, by the way, I don't know if you can see. Right, we're back. Sitting there in an open plan space here, and somebody walked in. But yeah, like I was saying, we have the push strategy. My loom's freaking out on me. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that one. I'm filming like an open plan here. I had somebody walk in. But like I was saying, we have the push strategy. Larger businesses tend to operate on the push strategy, whereby they actively take the initiative to go out and actually take strangers and turn them into customers, turn them into clients. Because ultimately, like we said, there are going to be a small percentage of the market of potential clients who are going to be ready to purchase, they're going to be ready to buy, but it's a very small percentage. And those guys, yeah, they'll come to the business, that's fine, but the larger proportion of the market is in the strangers who aren't ready to buy. And that also means that the most leverage in terms of increasing your sales is going to be in the larger cohort of the market. Just turning those guys into these customers is where you're going to get your leverage, and it's where you should be focusing your efforts as well. Sabri Subi talks about this. I haven't read his book, Sell Like Crazy. I would also recommend you have a look at, well, I'm not going to recommend it, I haven't read it, but my understanding of the ethos, the message behind that book is that you should focus your efforts on the larger part of the market who aren't ready to buy yet to turn them into customers. So you can see here, we'll go through this. The purple lines represent an outbound or sales strategy specifically designed to take people from being cold to warm, and that is not ready to buy and not knowing who you are, to ready to buy and ready to buy with you. Or in other words, turn strangers into paying clients. Now, for anyone who says that this is driving capitalism, consumerism, and is immoral because you shouldn't force people to buy something, let me ask you this. If you truly believe that your product can actually help people make the world a better place, then the way I see it, it's your duty to make sure as many people who could use it do use it. Because if you're not in business to be the best, to help people as much as you can, then what are you in business for? Because think about that. Because if you don't even believe it can help everybody in the market, then maybe it could be an issue with the product. And you should always be doing your best to help people as well as you possibly can. So, yes, ultimately, product is the most important thing in business. But assuming we have the product on lock, we're looking to generate more clients. This is the method that you can take. But it all starts with the product. So yeah, that is my rebuttal to that. I do not believe that there's any issue with this. If you truly believe you can help people, ends justify a means. Not that the means are even per, but some people will question it. What does this sales strategy actually look like? So the purple lines to turn these strangers into customers. It's a sales strategy, it's an outbound strategy, but what does this actually look like? For those who are new to this is a completely new concept. Here are some actual action steps that you can take and implement into your business right now. So ultimately, you need more people in your market to hear about you and your service. For mortgage brokers or mortgage firms, this will likely involve three main methods. And these are, number one, posting content. Number two, buying leads. And number three, paid advertising. So I'll be perfectly honest with you. I wouldn't even recommend necessarily buying leads unless you have posting content. Well, the rest of these unlock as well, but I'll go through these now. I wouldn't recommend buying leads unless you already have this sewed into your paradigm. And when I say paradigm, I mean your set of beliefs, the way that you look at the world, the way that you process information. If you buy leads and expect that they will just go ahead and turn into clients, then you're going to have the wrong approach. You're not going to be ready to buy leads because those leads will go to waste, because you'll just ring them, expect that they'll turn into clients. Before you know it, you've burned an entire lead list as well as probably a couple of grand, and that's not what we're looking for. So sew all of this into your paradigm first, sew it all into your belief systems, then you can look at buying leads. But buying them can actually be brilliant. In line with the rest of these strategies that we're discussing here today. Posting content is sort of a no-brainer today, to be honest with you. And it doesn't even have to be good. It can just be simple. Like literally just a photo of you working at your desk, being like, hey guys, this is me. Welcome to my channel. And paid advertising, it's a simple strategy that you can use to generate new leads. So you can either buy leads or you can just pay for advertising. You can generate them yourself. Ultimately, the preference is going to be up to you. But this must be done. So yeah, exactly. Like I say, sew all of this into your paradigm. Have an understanding of the type of attention you're going to attract. You won't attract customers. You will attract cold leads and strangers. Now you have to turn them into clients. So doing all these things, all of these push methods, will get you strangers, as highlighted under the push diagram. You'll get strangers, not customers. You need to turn these guys into customers. And here are a couple of ways that you can actually do that. So I've done a list of 9 ways that you can actually turn strangers into customers. The first is posting educational content, and the idea behind this is that strangers aren't going to have enough information to buy. If you can educate them on the subject, give them all the information that they need to make an informed decision, you're the one who gave it to them. They'll feel some sort of duty to repay the favor in a sense. Posting authority building content. This is case studies, testimonials, essentially just saying, oh, look at me, how great I am, blah, blah, blah. You get the picture. And the idea behind this is that they're going to think, oh, look at this person, they're really good at what they do, but they can also educate me as well. So they've got really good case studies, really good social proof, and that'll go a long way in increasing their perception of you. Creating a landing page and a VSL. A landing page is just a one-page website, and a VSL is a video sales letter. And what this is a somewhat long-form piece of content, anywhere from about sort of 1 minute to about 10 minutes of you simply discussing your product, who it's for, who it's not for, how you do it, why people should go with you, any information they might need. Essentially just giving them a quick rundown of what you do and why you do it and who you do it for as well. And that will, obviously, people can then qualify themselves through that. They can say, oh, this is for me, this isn't for me. You get the picture. Lead magnets. So a lead magnet is something that you give away for free. So you can think of, take your service, mortgage broker, what do? You give people advice on their mortgage. Initially, you have to have a consultation with these guys, yeah, and you can charge on an hourly rate for a consultation. But let's imagine you gave that away for free. You can qualify someone, and yeah, you're gonna have 5 conversations. 2 might not convert, but if you didn't have those initially, then that's 3 clients you're missing out on. You know what I mean? So 5 conversations, 3 turn into clients, 2 don't. You could say, "Oh, I wasted 2 hours," but you gain 3 clients, and that is worth it in my eyes, quite frankly. But I'll let you make that decision. But I don't think 5 hours or 3 grand worth of business is a bad idea. Email marketing. Email marketing is just basically send them emails. Given that you can literally include all of this, you can give them lead magnets, you can give them a VSL, you can give them this content through emails as well, free value, all of this stuff through email marketing. And I mean, ultimately, who doesn't? I check my emails. Maybe I'm biased because I am having to use them for business, but I believe the majority of people will see the emails that come through in their phone. Free value. This is again sort of on the idea of lead magnets, giving them stuff for free. It's going to take them a step closer to getting to where they want to go. Because again, on the consultation example, they're going to qualify themselves on that as well. And there's a potential for you to implement some form of sales strategy as well to give them that insight, to give them that paradigm that this could actually be the best choice for them. And obviously, like I say, if you believe in your product, if you believe in what you're doing, you're going to be the best person to do it with. Essentially, I screwed up my English there, but you get the picture. Yes, warm outreach. So warm outreach is run ads, post content for people that follow you, for people that engage with your content. Just send them a message. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for the support. Try and strike up a conversation with them. And I mean, there's a reason they're watching it. There's a reason they're submitting forms. There's a reason they're interacting with your content. It's because they're probably in some way interested. If you can strike up a conversation to the stage where you're essentially making a pitch, before you know it, you could have yourself a client. Webinars. The idea behind this is just do all of this. So lead magnets, free value, but essentially just set a time, set an event, an online event, whereby people can join, watch, speak with you, ask questions, engage with you live. At the end of that, you can even make a pitch and offer as well, and just say, listen, it's a busy month, taking on 5 more people. Before you know it, you can have yourself 5 clients. Being cool, nice, or professional. So you can pick one and build your brand around it. I go for, actually don't know what I go for. I think I go for being nice, but also just being personal as well, personable. Allowing people to know me, know my personality so that they feel like they know me, feel like they trust me. And this isn't me, this isn't like a reverse psychology thing, go watch my content, but just it is an example, and it's the first one that's come to my head because, well, I don't know, you could call that self-centerism, but you get the picture. But yeah, you can just pick one, build a brand around it. People will think of you as highly professional, really nice, or really cool. And either way, they're all going to build trust, build an image, build a perception of you in that viewer's head. And that is to be relayed in your content, in your lead magnets, your marketing, all of this stuff. So yeah, I'll zoom out a bit here. The goal behind every one of these bullet points is to help take strangers from not knowing you, from not knowing who you are, not being ready to buy, put my phone on silent, goodness sake, not liking you, not trusting you, and being confused, to having a good relationship with you, having enough information to buy, liking you, trusting you, and having clarity on their situation. And that is really the difference between strangers and customers and people who are raising their hand and saying they're ready to buy. People who are strangers, don't know you, aren't ready to buy, don't like you, don't trust you, are confused in their situation, whereas customers, your customers, have enough information, they have a good relationship with you, they like you, they trust you, they have clarity on their situation, and ultimately, if you're the one who gives them that clarity, who do you think they're going to turn to when it comes to actually making the decision, making the purchase? It's probably you. That's your answer. I'll answer for you. It's probably going to be you. Unless, of course, you have some other issue in your business, but I'm not here to consult you in that sense. But ultimately, you drive sales by focusing on the customer. All that I've done here is literally just tell you to put more effort into your customer, give them stuff for free, go above and beyond, put more work in, put more hours in to these people. Like, I mean, it goes back to the water and the plant analogy. I mean, you sow a seed and you water it every day, it's going to turn into a plant. You know what I mean? Whereas if you just plant a seed and then it doesn't grow because you didn't put any effort into growing it, it's not going to grow into a plant, and it's not going to be worth your time either. And number one, the plant loses out. Number two, you lose out, and everybody loses. Whereas if you just go above and beyond, put the effort in, for these strangers, they can turn into clients, they can blossom. They can win because they get to experience your amazing service and customer service, and you win, number two, because, well, you get their business. And I mean, I'm not here to preach capitalism or anything, but I mean, that looks like a pretty good deal to me. So, yeah, guys, ultimately, if I could summarize all of this, just put more effort into the customer, put more effort into the strangers who could potentially become customers, and watch them transition from not knowing you, not liking you, not trusting you, not being ready to buy, to liking you, trusting you, and being ready to buy. Not only ready to buy, but buy with you and buy your service. And that is how you get people to give you their money. Ultimately, that's not necessarily what we're in this for, just purely money, but we're talking about sales, we're talking about driving business, talking about growth and numbers. That is how we do it. So yeah, you can send me over a message. I'll send all this over to you, but I'm not gonna go through all of it in detail again. You can feel free to rewind anything you want to clear on. But yeah, if there are any questions, I encourage you to get in touch. I'd be more than happy to answer them. And I hope that you can take all of this, implement it into your own business, and see notable improvements in your inquiries, in your customers, and in your sales as well. But thank you for tuning in. Really hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one as well. Take care.